welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. It was a fun conversation last night. Thanks to Viking Vision for having me as a guest on the show, and I actually got to meet Nebula from Safe Haven, and it was nice meeting you as well, my friend. Good conversation, and it seems like we're going to be doing another discussions coming up soon. Viking mentioned having me back on the show, and I think we had a good time. It was a really relaxed conversation on crypto. If you have not seen it, go over to our Twitter page and check it out. We're going to retweet his link that he had us in the video, or I should say the podcast released that he did tonight from yesterday evening's show. So either which way, guys, check it out. We had a good conversation. I think we discussed a lot of good information, especially for investors of assets like XRP, XLM, SHA. We got into a few others as well, like Vechain and some other random assets, but I think it was a good conversation, and it was a really fun discussion with those guys. All right, now there's a lot of exciting news I want to dive right into tonight. And starting right off, there's the Crypto Savvy SEC Chair nominee clears the Senate panel, and Senate Banking Committee has voted to advance Gary Gensler's nomination, and he's probably one of the most informed on crypto and digital assets of the SEC options for, I should say, nominees for the filling the position. And it seems like he's probably going to have a smooth ride right into that position as well. So another exciting thing, in my opinion, tonight, Warren Davidson reintroduced the Token Taxonomy Act. And I want to get into that because there's a lot of new investors. And this is what we're looking for, regulatory clarity, as we discussed in the video last night. But this is another reintroduction of the original Token Taxonomy Act. And that was a great one because we need clarity. And that is another thing, too, going back to Gary Gensler's statement in a few previous conference he's hosted, where he has stated that the digital assets, they need the regulatory clarity. So I think he is probably going to be a great fit for that position. Now, diving into the article, Representative Warren Davidson, the Republican of Ohio, reintroduced his signature Token Taxonomy Act. And this bill establishes a much looked for clarity for businesses, consumers, and regulators operating in the growing U.S. blockchain ecosystem. So currently, a patchwork of laws and regulations creates confusion and even hostility to various blockchain businesses. Without a workable federal regulatory structure, many business and entrepreneurs are taking their businesses overseas, where clearer and friendlier laws have established thriving blockchain economies. So market interest in cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology has continued to grow, as certain cryptocurrencies have enjoyed a boom throughout the issue at hand, and as the Biden administration considers whether or not to continue regulation on private digital wallets started by the Trump administration. So the window is closing, said Representative Davidson. If we don't act quickly, the United States will be left behind. Other countries have found ways to regulate blockchain projects, and in doing so have made themselves more attractive to entrepreneurs. By establishing the appropriate regulatory environment, we can make sure that the opportunities and advancements that blockchain innovation promises will happen here in the United States for the benefit of Americans. And in the next article, XDC rally continues with a recent liquid exchange listing. The Zenfin Network's native asset XDC has added more fuel to its rocket as it recently got listed on Liquid Exchange. And according to information obtained by CoinCora, XDC will go live on Liquid beginning March 10th with SGD, USDT, and BTC trading pairs. So today is the scheduled day for XDC to go live on Liquid Exchange. Now, Grayscale firm is behind leading the Bitcoin Trust and is hiring an ETF specialist. So 9 new job postings indicate Grayscale is considering joining the race to win the SEC's first Bitcoin ETF approval. Another article that I found very interesting is Ripple and YouTube settled their dispute over the crypto scams. So in a complaint filed with the U.S. District Court in Northern California in April 2020, Ripple alleged victims had been defrauded out of millions of XRP valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. So Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has come on Twitter to let the public know the company settled its legal dispute with YouTube. Next article is what's next for Vechain. Vechain is a blockchain platform developed to fully view an organization through disintermediating information from data, and the project has a goal of becoming a leading platform for ICOs, and it uses 2 tokens, and these are the Vechain token and the Vechain Thor Energy token as a smart contract layer, which you have the VET and the VTHO. So its main arm is to build a trust-free and distributed ecosystem platform that enables transparent information flow and high-speed value transfers. So Vechain, its price is aiming for a significant rally thanks to renewed bullish momentum. So the beginning of the year, Vechain had a bottom of a 0.036 on February 28th, and then it hit its high of 0.065. And the next resistance is at 0.067. And once we break out above that, VET should head towards 0.08 cents in the long term. So here's a discussion. I had a private message earlier and I wanted to get into. Someone was asking me about all the movement going on right now with Stellar. And here was basically my answer back to that. Here's what I believe is going on. Let's, get into the article and then I'll make my point. Take a position in Stellar Lumens now as it keeps making its way higher. I agree with that, and I believe it's going to go significantly higher because it's such a massive network. And as it's been labeled, XLM is the invisible currency. And we've shown a lot of content and discussed it in a lot of videos since 2019 even on basically the research that we were doing for Ripple and XRP, trying to find those connections. And we basically found those everywhere. But when we did, we also found Stellar XLM right in nearly the same articles. So here's the long-term outlook for Stellar Lumens remains bullish. So like many other cryptocurrencies has been making headlines. And so far in the new year, XLM started this year around 12 cents. And as this author writes, it is hovering around 41 cents. Put another way, the proverbial $1,000 investment in Stellar Lumens at the start of 2021 would now be worth more than $3,400. And what got me into wanting to break down a little, a reply or response to the private message I received earlier, I think it was great to share with everyone, is in the next 2 paragraphs. The Stellar network launched in 2015 in a blockchain-based payment protocol. It is mainly used by individuals and institutions for cross-border payments. But then the next paragraph where it stated global transactions have been on the rise. For instance, PayPal points out global e-commerce means over 300 billion USD a year is spent across borders. And now that's really where I want to dive into the rest of this discussion. And if you're an XLM investor, you may or may not be aware of this, but I think this is, to me, where it gets very exciting. And I'll be very brief with the rest of it, as it won't take very long to explain my point. Now you have Curve partnering with Franklin Templeton to secure a new money market fund. Curve announced that Franklin Templeton, a leading global asset manager, has selected Curve Institutional Wallet Service to protect digital assets for the firm's new money market fund, whose shares will be recorded on the Stellar network. So you have Curve, which was a partner of Franklin Templeton, which is built on Stellar for their funds. Now you have WireX and Stellar. Research suggests crypto mass adoption is close. WireX, in a partnership with the Stellar Development Foundation, has unveiled a brand new primary research into cryptocurrency. So now we're showing Curve in its connection to Franklin Templeton and Stellar. Now we've just shown WireX and its connection to Stellar as well. Now, WireX brings PayPal to Bitcoin conversion to over 30 countries. So here we're showing, luckily, services such as WireX made it easier to do so as they announce a new feature to buy Bitcoin through PayPal. Now we're showing its connection to PayPal. And then what do we have here is develop your payment app like Venmo, and then right into here in the article, Venmo, a mobile payment application, takes the remittance payment method a step ahead by integrating with Stellar, a distributed ledger technology. And what is that but Venmo and my PayPal account directly on PayPal's website, because it uses Venmo for its distribution of finance. So your Venmo payments are handled in the same way as a PayPal transaction and will be placed in your PayPal account. These are also subject to the same rules as other PayPal transactions, including the rules on holds. And please note that at launch, Venmo-funded payments will not be specially designated in your account activity or reporting. They will look like a regular PayPal transaction, and we may add a special designation to your transaction activity or reporting in the future. And what does that mean? As PayPal purchases digital asset security firm Curve. The platform said it plans to complete the acquisition before the third quarter of 2021. Now let's do a quick refresh back into that. As we were discussing Stellar, we had the PayPal come up. And then again, I wanted to show that Curve, which was a partner of Franklin Templeton, was also connected to Stellar because the Franklin Templeton is having its money market fund whose shares will be recorded on the Stellar network. And if you're not familiar with Franklin Templeton, it's very massive. It's over 700 billion AUD now on Stellar. So new WireX and Stellar research suggests crypto mass adoption is close. And there's the WireX and Stellar connection there through their partnership. And then you have WireX connecting to PayPal. Here you have Venmo connecting to Stellar, Venmo connecting to PayPal, and now PayPal acquiring Curve, bringing everything back full circle. And again, remember guys, this is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. And before I go, I want to leave you with a final thought. If you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. And I want to say thank you to our VIP Patreon, Surf and Gary Davidson. Much appreciated for your support. And again, much love to each and every one of you. Hit that subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.